Here we are, inspection day. House here in Lakewood area. My client is a first-time investor. They're looking for a place to live, but they also want something that'll work as an investment once they leave. Found this property. Numbers are tight, but they should be able to break even on the property afterwards. Got the inspector doing his thing in here. House is nicely staged. What the client was looking for was something that would have appeal for them, but appeal for investors later on. So we look for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So here's the exterior of the property. They did a new roof. Stucco siding appears to be in good shape. This is the rear of the property. So with the inventory the way it is, since my clients are typically investors, either experienced or in this case more newer investors, I always tell people to start with where you stay as your first investment, because everybody needs a place to stay. So typically what I'm doing as far as the strategy is, with the inventory increasing, we're looking for houses that may have sat for a minute and running the numbers and being realistic but aggressive with the pricing strategy. So basically what I may do is, versus me showing the property and then seeing if they like it, then seeing if the numbers work, we start with the numbers. And then after, if the numbers work, or if we find out where the numbers work, we'll make an offer at that price. So this way, as a real estate broker, I'm not driving all over just showing houses and wasting both of our times, because trying to see whether they like the house, but then the numbers don't work. Especially, I'll say particularly in the case where the client's going to live in the property. If you're not living in the property, then it's less about that. But a lot of it's just mentality too. You're trying to get the client to understand this isn't their dream home, or this isn't the last house that they'll ever purchase. What we're trying to do is get them on the property ladder and be able to take advantage of Section 121, where they could get up to $250,000 as a single person, $500,000 as a married couple in tax-free capital gains if you live in the property 2 of the last 5 years. Or we're looking at a house hack strategy. Let me try to find some light that works. Yeah, really looking at house hack strategy. They're going to either rent out the rooms and use that to reduce the cost of their mortgage. You could use a combination of house hacking plus Section 121 to be able to get into a nice position, to use the capital gains to then invest in another property later on after you've met the time requirement. I am trying to help my clients navigate the market best, considering that prices are still what they are. Rents are in the Atlanta Metro coming down in lots of places. A lot of the Atlanta Metro rents have been coming down. I have a mosquito that is definitely aiming for my hand, trying to get this next meal. But yeah, it's a tough market out here. We still get the job done. So with this property, we were able to come in significantly below asking price. And because we're going for simply numbers, it makes the decision much easier as far as what we're going to do. And just talk to my clients and let them know that's how it works. We're coming in with the numbers, and then if the numbers work, then we're coming to make sure that you actually like the property, neighborhood works out for you, and then just looking at what the rents are today, knowing that by the time my client moves out of here, the rents obviously will be what they are, but seeing where does it make sense today, assuming that over time the rents will most likely rise, even though short term they may be declining. And then of course, me being a licensed general contractor, we have an inspector here, but I can answer any questions that my client has later on after the inspection comes back in, and we'll make it work. We'll make it work. We'll do what it does. So that's it for now. All right, so here I have my man Nikoba Evans with a qualified home inspector. Let me tell you a little bit about him. He was my first inspector that I used when I bought my first fully investment property, which was a duplex in Austell, Georgia, and which is now Mableton, the city of Mableton, back in 2016. So I've been rocking with him for almost a decade now. I wasn't a real estate agent then, but just wanted to introduce Nikoba, just talk about what you do, and then in general, why it's important for investors to still use a home inspector.
Yes, definitely. Like you said, my name is Nikoba Evans, and I'm the owner of a qualified home inspector, and we're here at a home, and what I'm doing is getting all the information to inform his customer if it's a smart buy, purchase or not. The general home inspection pretty much includes the roof structure, exterior siding, plumbing, electrical components, windows, doors, and so on. It's very thorough inspection, very detailed report. Once I give that to them, they look it over and they decide how they're going to negotiate. As far as on the investor side, sometimes they want just the major components checked. If a investor calls me about that, I will make sure the report is more to the tune of what they're asking for. But that's basically what I do, inform the client or the investor of the condition of the property.
Okay, and how long have you been doing this? Because I know you've been doing it before I met you in 2016.
Yeah, so it's been about 16 years.
Okay.
About
A
16 years,
minute. Okay. Hey man, any last words before I to my very large mass of people who follow me, all 200?
Yes, I would say, yeah, definitely. If you need a home inspection, if you need radon testing, if you need a mold test, any additional services, you can check me out online at qualifiedhomeinspector.com, or you can give me a call, 678-908-1651. Nikoba Evans from a Qualified Home Inspector. And I appreciate you, man.
All right, appreciate you, brother.